Hi, welcome to Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. I'm instructor Dwayne Jenkins, and today's video is going to be a video about a question I got asked by one of my students. They asked me why there was only 5 pentatonic patterns. Why it's only 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, you know? Well, there's a reason why there's only 5, and if you're not too sure, stick around and I'll show you why. Alright, now the reason why there's only 5 patterns in the pentatonic scales is because that's what pentatonic means. Okay, penta meaning 5, like a pentagon or a pentagram, something like that, means 5 sides. So penta meaning 5, and tonic meaning notes, tones. Okay, 5 notes, a scale of 5 notes. And so each one of those notes has a scale or a pattern that's based off of it. Okay, so for instance, let's say, okay, first of all, the 5 notes in the pentatonic pattern are going to be the 1, the flat 3, the 4, the 5, and the flat 7 of the scale. Okay, so for instance, let's say we were doing, we'll just say G. We'll just say the G major scale. Okay, the G major scale would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Okay. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flatten the third. So now instead of having G, A is the second, right? G, A, B would be the third, C would be the fourth, D would be the fifth, E would be the sixth, F sharp would be the seventh, and then of course the eighth would be back to G again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. All right. Now, if we want to do is we want to alter those notes so that we just take 5 of them. Okay, we're going to flatten the third, all right, and flatten the seventh. So we have the 1, the flat 3, which would be here because this is our third. 1, 2, 3. Flatten it, but instead of playing it there, we're going to play it here instead. So here we got the 1, flat third, 4, 5. Sorry, sorry about that. The 1, 3, 4, 5. And the flat 7 right there, okay? So the 1, 3, 4, 5, flat 7, all right? Now if you were to take those and put them across the fretboard this way, like this, it would be like 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. So each one of those notes would have a scale based on it. So that's the whole pattern right there, pattern number 1. Okay, and then pattern 2 is going to start when pattern 1 ends. Okay, right here. So in the key of G minor, this would be G minor because it's a minor scale. Whenever we flatten the third, it becomes a minor. Okay, and it would start right here at the 6th fret. So now it'd be 6, 8. Okay, and then the third pattern is going to start right here where the second one ends, right here. Now you can hear the sound, even though we're starting on different notes, it's still a 5-note scale, okay? And then of course the next one's going to start right here where that one ends, right here at the 10th fret, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then of course the next one is going to start right here where the last one ended. So this one was from 10 to 13. Now we're starting 13 to 15. And if we continue, and what's great about these patterns is each one of them is different. Each one of them they're the same notes, but they're in a different configuration. And that's why they're very popular, and they work with a lot of different styles of music. Blues and rock and metal and jazz and country and everything else. That's why they're really a good way to start to learn if you're going to play lead guitar. I would recommend starting with these scales, these pentatonic scales. They're usually more like in a minor, but they can always be minor or major, doesn't really matter. Okay, and that would go into a whole nother lesson, but I didn't want to talk about that because that's a whole nother lesson. But I just wanted to show you that's why there's only 5 of them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you notice, we go through those 5, we started here on G, and we ended on G. So those 5 patterns are really great because they cover the whole span from one G to the next, the whole octave, you could say, from one, it doesn't matter what key you're playing, A to A, or F to F, you know, E to E, doesn't matter, okay? And it spans that whole fretboard, that whole octave, and then it starts over again, okay? So if you learn all 5 patterns, you know, you can play all over the fretboard and stay in key. Because that's the hardest thing it is for people to do, is stay in key, you know what I mean? They learn that first box pattern, and they call them box patterns because of the fact that they're in a box, kind of box shape. They learn that very first one, and then once they get out of that, they don't know where to go. But you want to learn all 5 if you can, because they allow you to span the whole fretboard and stay in key and sound good. That's what's great about them, is they sound good with, you know, all the chord progressions that you play over them. All right, so there's a quick lesson on our why there's only 5 pentatonic patterns. They're both major and minor. They can be used for both major and minor, okay? And if you know, so there's 2 things that you really want to master when it comes to playing lead guitar: where to play and what to play, okay? So if you know your patterns and you know where to play them, you're going to sound good every time, okay? So for instance, like I was mentioning earlier, if I'm playing in, say, G minor right here, it's right here, it's going to sound good. And I keep all the patterns within this position, you know, G, the pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 3, pattern 4, pattern 5, and then it would start over again with pattern 1, pattern 2, and so forth, okay? Now we run out of fretboard, but if the fretboard continued, we could just go on and on and on endlessly, okay? Because that's what music does. It's kind of like the cosmos. It just goes on endlessly, okay? So if we know where to play that, it's going to really help. Even that first pattern, like a lot of people know that first pattern, it's because there's so much that you can do with it. It's kind of like a thing that first place you start when comes playing lead guitar. So if I was playing in G, boom, right here. If I was playing in C, right here at the 8th fret, because that's where the C note is, that very first note. Okay, so if somebody said, hey, I've got this song, it's in G, you can play it here. Or if they said it's in D, you can play it here at the 10th fret. And I would recommend working, you know, with that scale, and maybe work with some backing tracks on YouTube or something to kind of get the rhythm going, or get you a looper pedal, get a rhythm going, loop it, and then try to play the melody over the top of it and experiment. A lot of lead guitar playing is just experimenting with things, experimenting with what works, what doesn't. But if you stick to these 5 patterns and you learn them one right after the other and know exactly where they are in every single key, you'll sound good every single time, okay? And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can contact me on my website, Dwayne's Guitar Lessons. I would recommend checking that out because I got a lot of great resources there for helping you with your playing. I've got some books and some videos, digital downloads, my services that I offer. I teach guitar lessons online and offline, and all the good things to help you with your guitar playing, okay? If you need any of that help, I'll have that stuff in the links below. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Keep practicing. Have a good day, and I will see you at our next lesson.
Audio Jungle.